and why is this webinar happening. Uh, Halal Angels was conceived, couple of years ago, but we launched it in 2020 during the pandemic. And what we wanted to do is, in the halal economy, there is no angels network. So we thought we would create an angels network, which will connect investors and startups together, because the halal economy needs funding. And the funding, that there's a big challenge. That's why this market is not growing. And Alhamdulillah, we launched this, and it is a very interesting launch. Actually, I've done a couple of launches for myself, but I was supposed to launch this Halal Angels Network in Malaysia, and unfortunately, the pandemic happened, and my mother is like bedridden. She's limited mobility, so I was like massaging her legs and working on my MacBook. I said, Ammi, like in Urdu, that I want to take a permission. I want. She says, what? I said, I want to launch my Halal Angels from under your feet, because according to Islam, under the feet of the mother is the heaven. And she smiled. She says, "Are you joking?" I said, "No." She says, "Okay, go ahead and do it." I launched it on LinkedIn, and you won't believe the blessing of the mother was so tremendous that within a week we were covered by 3,000 news channels, and it was amazing. So I think everyone who does business should respect the parents, and that's the way things work. The other thing is, in Islam, there's something called istikhara. The first people we signed up was SSC Capital in Tanzania. Why I say istikhara? Because the first hijrat of Muslims didn't happen to Medina; it went to East Africa. So we got the first sign that we are at the right place, at the right direction. The other thing is, when since 10 years I've been involved in this halal economy, and time and again, Hazrat Khatija Razinath name comes always, and she was the first angel investor. She invested her money, her life, and everything to a beloved prophet. So we launched the Khatija Razinath initiative, which is a cohort of 1,001 women entrepreneurs, and we want to develop this ecosystem. We have slowed down this. The reason is because of COVID restrictions happening. So we've decided to slow down, but still we are trying to help women entrepreneurs together, and that's why we have Sister Sairun here. Akram, next slide, please. Why does halal economy needs entrepreneurship, or why does every economy needs what you say entrepreneurship? The reason is entrepreneurs spur economic growth. Entrepreneurs add to national income. Entrepreneurs create social change. It helps in community development. It creates innovation. It solves issues. And the best thing, it adds revenue to the government. And overall, it creates more jobs. More jobs means people don't need to live on charity. And if you are making good money, you will also give back to the society in terms of charity, endowment, and donation. Next slide, please. The halal economy is a very huge market, and according to Thomson Reuters, it is estimated to grow to $9.7 trillion in 2025. And different countries are leading into this. Indonesia, because it's largest Muslim population, followed by Malaysia. India has one of the largest Muslim population. Pakistan, Nigeria, Iran, and Turkey are trying to spur this growth in a big way. Now, a lot of people think halal means food, but besides food, it is also about travel, cosmetics, modest fashion, Islamic finance, and there are other allied services. And there are around millions of dollars which can be invested into this, but it's not happening, and that's why we're here. Now, when you look at Asian Muslims, they are trying to lure the global Muslims of $1.8 billion into their technology startups. And now the Muslim population has a lot of youth, and the youth is using a lot of technology, the millennials, and they have a good to do attitude. So this is what drives entrepreneurship. And the lifestyle market is going to grow very big, not the food and not the cosmetics, but overall the lifestyle market. So halal consumer market is a huge one. Next slide, Radhika. I think
Yeah,
we're done.
right.
I would introduce Mr. Akram Haq. Akram is a very close friend of ours. He's also the board member for Halal Angels Network. And he's also the co-host along with me who will drive this conversation. So Akram is the publisher editor of the Policy Times News, which is his background in his backdrop. And the other thing is he's also involved in education. He does fantastic webinars on education, and he also recently started the startup global world startup council, because he also believes, like, charity is not driving thing, it has to be entrepreneurship. In fact, before this webinar started an hour ago, we were just discussing how you can trailblaze this attitude of getting away from the NGO attitude to entrepreneurship. So hand over to Akram, and he can share the
Thank you.
agenda
Thank you
and the
so
vision.
much, Dr. Malik, for wonderful introduction to the program. And I invite all our speakers, brothers and sisters, to this conference. The reason why I admire Dr. Malik the most, I think, and the highest respect is the kind of unconditional love and sacrifice he has for his parents. I have not seen many people loving their parents, but the way he does is little exceptional. So, Dr. Malik, you will be highly rewarded in this world and hereafter because of that single point that I feel in my life.
Sure.
Now, talking about this, a little bit of myself. Yeah, as Dr. Malik said, I run this Policy Times. It's actually a media cum strategic think tank which aims to redefine the media. Media has absolutely lost its credibility, not only in India and many parts of the world. It has become just a propaganda machine. So we believed and we thought that there is a need of an alternative. Media has to redefine its voice and space towards making sensible journalism, responsible journalism, progressive journalism. So that's what we are doing. Along with this, we will have a lot of other initiatives. We believe that if I ask a simple question, who's the most powerful individual or institution? It is definitely business. So if you see the corona pandemic, it is the business which is giving solutions, whether the vaccine manufacturing companies or medicines. Governments are the representatives of protectionist or representative or protectionist mechanism on behalf of the people. They are representing people, but actual leader, ruler is the business. If the Muslim community or whichever community we talk about, whichever community today leads the world are dominated and ruled by business community. You talk about any community in the world. And if the Muslim community has to rise, it has to adopt innovation and entrepreneurship. These are the only roots of progress and prosperity. Why I admire again Dr. Malik is also because in his lifetime he has taken Halal Angels, but before that he has taken AIMBSN, which is again a network of entrepreneurs and promoting entrepreneurship. So I think we are at right spot, right platform. And I invite and welcome every individual. Let us produce entrepreneurs and innovators. So with this, I'll invite our speakers. Now to talk on that, I'll first invite our sister because as a ladies first approach. So Sister Siren, kindly make your presentation or share your presentation. Okay, I will share your presentation though. Okay. Which one is sister's presentation? North America, there are 4.
Yeah, this one, Halal Angel and HCC.
HCC, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, sister, go on.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the name of Allah, most merciful, most beneficent. And I would like to thank Dr. Tausif Malik, the brother in Islam, inviting me to be here. And it's when I found this Halal Commerce Canada in 2019, the idea comes about. And I launched it on 2020, and I had a conversation with Dr. Tausif Malik, brother. We had a long discussion about 2, 3, maybe one more than an hour over the WhatsApp, and explaining what is actually he actually inspired me. After a discussion, I had more inspiration come how to be an entrepreneur in halal industry. But my actual company was I founded in 2007 Can Leaf Mart, which is Canadian leaf market, dedicated to the electronics and consumer goods. But after a few years driving many ideas and the market changes, I have decided this idea is not working for me. So I was thinking to do something better to do with my faith. So after research, one of the brother from Malaysia, and he actually got connected, and he developed the so-called global Islamic economy. So it's really hit me really hard. What is global Islamic economy? And he just explained this is what it is. So that's where I actually developed my halal commerce. I really wanted to be an entrepreneur serving our community with a halal product, our halal permissible product. So 2020, I launched this Halal Commerce Canada. And meantime, while I am developing my MVP, I had really passionate about the retail product. How do I connect halal product with the end user? So I opened the marketplace, and then I had said, okay, this is the North American market. How can I engage into the internationally rather than US and Canada, outside of Canada? Then I have opened another one is called Halal Commerce Mall. We haven't launched it yet, but we done our MVP. Everything we're gonna launch it, inshallah, maybe in a few months. Then third project I was working, okay, we have talked to a lot of businesses, and I found that there is a huge pitfall in the market, sourcing the product, business to business, sourcing the product. Okay, I have the retail product, retail side. How can someone source the halal product? Again, they have to go through manufacturing, all this sourcing supplies and everything, but there's a gap between it because there is no website for it. Because we go to the major traditional wholesale market, but then again, there is not moderating whether it's a halal from real genuine halal product from the manufacturer. Are the facilities manufacturer, the brand is moderating. So I come up with the halal supply chains. Inshallah, we'll launch this. We have developed the whole MVP. Inshallah, we'll launch this in a couple of months. In pandemic, going through 3 projects, it was a huge challenging for me. But alhamdulillah, everybody, like brother said, your mother, your parents, everybody dua is actually a blessing. So we go to the next one. Because of within the demographic, we specifically started with the North America market, especially in Canada. Our Canada population is like 1.8 million Muslims, which is 3.2% out of what its current population is right now. So major city has been Toronto, Ottawa, Brampton, and Montreal. And I could say Vancouver is the major populated Muslim city. Brampton and Toronto is the major leading city for our Muslim consumer market. Can we go to the next slide, brother? Okay, Quebec is a French city because Canada, we have 2 languages. English is the major, then the second is the French. French city, which is mostly the main Muslims group immigrated to main city, Upper Canada, which is called Quebec. So that time we had first one Muslim family, which is immigrated, I believe, from maybe Europe or Asia, Middle Eastern. So they have started the retails and a lot of other business activity in that region. So now today we have a French-speaking city, which is Quebec, has populated 243,000 Muslim alone in there from various countries like let's say Tunisia, Morocco, other cities which speak French. So they're the leading one in there too. Okay, Canada lifestyle, because I love lifestyle marketplace, which is we as a halal commerce, we focus on lifestyle marketplace in cosmetic and beauty. Cosmetic and beauty industry alone is a global market, maybe $3 to $4 billion USD. But because of that, significantly, our country is very small in populations. We are targeting beauty and cosmetic and pharmaceutical and modest fashion. These are the
Can I
industry
stop
we
you,
are,
sister, here?
sir?
The screen is not correct. It is distorted. Are you screen sharing it?
Yeah, it is fine here. Though.
It's fine here.
Okay, okay.
I'm hearing okay. Is
Okay,
it
maybe.
okay now?
You're fine.
Is it okay? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So our target is to drive main purpose of our project to serve in Canada-based our headquarters, but we wanted to serve in international market as well, following this category: modest fashions, healthy lifestyle, halal trade, Islamic investment and financing. But our main focus, core focus, is to cosmetic and beauty and halal, modest fashions. North America free trade. This is actually is a good one because we had the NAFTA trading agreement between USA, but after the president of United States, Trump, has came along and they changed it to United States, Mexico, Canada agreement. But within the NAFTA trade, when I was dealing with my electronic business model, it was really beneficial because we pay less imported fee as well as exporting it into that region was very good. Because I have done more than $100,000 business in within 1 year, $100,000 business in electronic, because this is where is my passion is begin, because small business is the core value of our economy. Because when I not only serve the end user, I also serve the small business community. Because of the electric business, it's allow me to validate my idea that a small business is the core engine of the economy, because we need to support them. This is why our halal commerce is mainly focusing on our businesses, how to grow them bigger, how to expand into international market, halal market. So as you can see, 75 with the new agreement, 75 auto content North America made up from 62.5%. Now we are beginning have some dispute against the auto industry because of the highest tariff and auto agreement with the new USMCA agreement. However, what it did is did actually better in technology and software benefit, but rather than dairy product and the auto industry has been suffered a little bit because they have a highest tariff under the new agreement. But with the old NAFTA agreement, Canada and USA has healthy trade partnership between two regions. But with this new agreement, we are going through some of the trade dispute because of the auto industry is suffering, dairy is agriculture is suffering. And in terms of technology, I don't see many dispute on that one as well, but it's beneficial. So this is the important part. Why women entrepreneur matter in trade? I have discussed this issue in last year. Hello?
Yeah, please go on, sister.
Yeah. So this topic has come over and over again. Why in Islamic environment, women entrepreneurship matter in trade? I myself, I'm in the entrepreneurship for more than 20 years because the number one benefit was for me. Because we are living in Western country, we are not solely living on one income. It's not because of your husband or family can't afford to live, because our standard of living here is way expensive than the other countries, right? So to raise above the standard of living, we need to do something. But my entrepreneurship, I have actually, my husband is very cooperative in terms of entrepreneurship. So you cannot go out and work. So what do? I study, I cannot work out and, look after the children. So how do I do that? How do I align this kind of problem into my workplace or entrepreneurship? So there was entrepreneurship was the only solution, because I mean, I was able to work online. I was able to do my house chores. I was able to look after my children side by side. Since 2007, I'm working, raising my kids. They are not now college and student, university students. So along the way, I was also able to do the business online too. So because I was choosing business with the technology, it's helped me to realize that I can do these things. It's possible, and I don't need to rely on go out and work and put my kids in the babysitter, daycare, and that's also costly too. So entrepreneur does matter because we need to give a facility resources to the women, because many women choose to do have career, but again, it's not suitable for their family, right? They have to leave the kids. So this is a very powerful one. Equality gender. I don't want to go into the talk about equality gender because we are Muslim, we have a different way of doing things, and it's to do our faith. Empowerment is very, very important one because it's really empower women to do the better. Women in trade accessing a new market, creating opportunity to share her idea and support her community, family, and even whole village. I mean, imagine like if the women like myself, if we don't enter into the international market or we don't know how to do the business, then we cannot actually collaborate with international market or industry that need to be developed. So you cannot always say men can do all the things, but women can't. But some of the trending are changing because of the technology. Now we have more people, millennium are more educated, more technology accessibility, so they can do something better. If they can do something better for themselves, they can do something better for their family, their community, even their whole village. So there is a advantage of having women in trade, and meantime also having a permissible way of working environment, creating for herself too. This is the best one I support. Okay, can you go back to, yeah, e-commerce is the future. So basically every millennium have internet access devices. So they define the shopping experience. They define the technology, the market. So e-commerce will be the always here to stay. Look at the 20 years ago when I started e-commerce business, there wasn't many accessibility. Right now we have blockchain, we have digital currency, we have artificial intelligence, we have Internet of Things. So technology actually defining our capability enter into the market. So we need to empower the women, men alike, youth, to have this kind of skills that need tomorrow market to future of the e-commerce. They're the one who move the market of the e-commerce.
Thank you. Yeah.
So this is the contact, how you can reach me if you have any question or comment. So inshallah, I'll get back to you on that. Thank you for listening. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sister. Really wonderful and encouraging to hear what you shared, and also shows, because you brought the American perspective, how NAFTA people can explore to leverage business. And the kind of thinking you mentioned, I also believe the same. For my wife, if she wants to do business, I will have 100% full support. I have been encouraging her to do business, but when it comes to typical this kind of jobs, I also have similar kind of skepticism. I don't know whether it is right or wrong. Coming back to the topic, moving forward, may I request now Dr. Adil Eldin, the founder and CEO of Quality Affordable Healthcare, to kindly share your remarks and views.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Thank you so much for inviting me. Thank you, Dr. Malik, who has been an old friend. We go back almost more than 15 years ago. And I know when his late dad was alive, and we come along in Chicago and Florida and so on. And I'm so happy that we're, working together on this ecosystem. Just wanted you to know I'm not as fortunate. Both my parents passed away, but I want to do something that hopefully to honor them and where they are, to hopefully, inshallah, to have benefit to everyone, not just the Muslim and halal space, but for all humanity. I am a board certified cardiologist. I'm a heart doctor, basically. I've been here in Florida for 25 years. Initially did my training in New York and so on. And I realized after the world economic crisis back in 2008, there are things going to change. And certainly healthcare, which is my area of expertise, will definitely change. So I wanted to be on the forefront of those changes, and I wanted to be certainly making an impact on the changes in the healthcare. And so I decided to work on solutions for healthcare. Number one, affordable quality healthcare. Why this matters? Why this such a big deal? Well, the whole idea is a lot of people can't afford medication. We know from the pandemic is that healthcare and health in particular is number one commodity. If you're going to compare it with anything, like the sister from Canada, mashallah, beautiful presentation on electronics and the business and getting everybody excited. I wanted to do something to really help the consumer, which is everybody in the health, is a consumer of healthcare. Absolutely. And we know what the pandemic have proven that, health is number one commodity. There's no ifs and buts about it. But then it comes the affordability. Can I afford to have the health cost and so on? We know that a lot of people can't, and it's number one, healthcare being number one cause for bankruptcy, people who go to bankruptcy. So where we go from there? What solutions do we have to offer to people and to everyone who wants to access that? So we know that as a rule, we know that the fee for service, going through a third party is not going to be sustainable anymore because of the keeps rising costs over the past 55 years. And having a third party is not going to do anything except keeping the cost going up, and that's being dumped on the consumer. So people get less and less and then end up in bankruptcy at the end. No, what to do about it? There's a concern also about the fact that you keep wellness, disease prevention, and really save money. And then one part of being based on the Muslim principles of giving back to the community to help fight hunger. So part of the values that we believe in as Muslims, yes, to help the people, yes, to do the right thing, and yes, to give back. And this is, both mentioned in the Quran, in the Holy Quran, as well as the Sunnah Prophet, alayhi salatu wasalam, our beloved Prophet, peace be upon him. So where to go from there? Put it in actuality, in actual, bottom line. Number one, this started right after the world economic crisis, 2010, with the research and development, and then have this called direct consumer healthcare. No third party. You wanted the healthcare. Here we got a plan for you. Here's the very transparent. We know exactly what you're getting for what service, for what price, and this have developed. Moving fast forward to where today, it's proven that this is a great model. Saves people about $10,000. Keep them healthy. Keep away from a hospital, and really help from the further devastation. Now, COVID hits. And we know that this become a solid need for everyone to, for all the things that we mentioned about how to stay healthy and concept of wellness, disease prevention, and so on. But again, at a price that everybody can afford. So when people start to say, "Are you for real, doc?" and so on, and we wanted to move on to a model that everybody can benefit from, and upscale that from just where I am in Tampa, Florida, but you go beyond, and reaching out to the fellow physicians who have been mostly staying with the concept of investing in real estate, but now really the healthcare, now the growing technology and digital world. I believe this will give us a true network ecosystem that really can have everybody around the globe for their healthcare needs and so on. And that's where the concept of having a healthcare market together. So next slide, please. Okay. Next slide, please. I wear so many hats, and being a global goodwill ambassador is one of them. So now we have a great model, great solution that we can keep people healthy, save them money, give back to the community, feed the hungry, and a great entrepreneurial model that's been validated and proved, and now it's ready to replicate it in a more or less franchise format. And we're certainly happy to entertain any questions or those who would like to enroll in this system. Apart from that, in a global healthcare, the need for medical tourism, this is overlapped with what's called pronto care. This is the one that I just mentioned in the model for every day-to-day technology related to healthcare. Next slide, please. We know that we live in the COVID world. We know that we have other things that are connected to it. So I emphasize the human part, being part of the faith and really part of show compassion that cannot be replicated by AI or a robot, but it has to maintain and stay human. And that, and you can obviously synchronize and add technology to it. Next, please. The area that I have this added one. We had published a lot of research papers and so on to show the true model that I built on the pronto care, so it can help not only on the day-to-day healthcare needs for small and medium-sized business, which I agree totally with the sister. It is the engine of the economy. That's it's 86% of the economy engine of a small business. And individuals are just the hardworking people, and that need help with their costs and especially with maintaining and recruiting good employees to retain them if you offer them affordable healthcare. But now, after the pandemic, now we have a whole new area that really also needs the on-site pronto care clinic, which would involve hotels, resorts, and spas, and could really help to solve a lot of issues and concerns when it comes to people as far as testing, as far as quarantine, as far as which go to the hospital, which is not, whether they clear to go back to their trip so they don't end up losing their credit. And we've heard nightmare stories about people losing credit and losing money, and they kind of got a plane and so on. Now we have for the first time in the world, a one-stop shop of pronto care that could really coordinate the traffic between travel and tourism and hospitality all together, putting combined skills and expertise in all those three areas. Next, please. So I wanted to really get this new concept where people have on-site pronto care clinics that will address safety concerns, will help educate clients and guests for their nutrition, wellness, enhanced sanitation. It becomes all this an important issue. Now we know that most likely the coronavirus is going to be pandemic, meaning it's going to be with us for a long time. It's not going to be like a one time or so. And there could be, every year, just like the regular flu, they will be having shots that will address that as well. So where we go from there, we have this as a brand new, yes, it is in a way, it is a challenge, but also an opportunity to really, for entrepreneurial spirit, to show solutions and innovations to meet with those challenges and offer solutions to folks. But then we can have combined technology, and we can have the human factor in addition to really emphasize the importance of all of them in treating people with dignity and humanity, and save them money and keep them healthy, and make all this experience true, which are basic values in Islam. So this is how to put the faith in action. Next, please. So I certainly invite, I don't want to go over time and allow obviously the next speaker to have a presentation, and then we have a question and answer session. But I certainly would invite everybody to take a look at the pronto-care.co. We're already branded, trademark is there, and to have affiliates, local partners, and certainly open for collaboration with investors to have this everywhere. Now we can combine technology to reach everywhere, and we can combine everybody can benefit from this network. I have other businesses called Florida Medical Tourism, which will take care of the medical tourism and wellness tourism and all related activities. But I just wanted to at least point this out to folks, and all the information are contact information on the slides, and I'll be more than happy to entertain any question, inshallah. Thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you so much, Dr. Yeah, Dr. Malik.
Yeah, I just wanted to point out a few things, what Dr. Adil said. Most people don't know the healthcare system in America is too expensive, very expensive, because there's multiple layers in that. There's coders, there's insurance companies, and there's pharmaceutical companies. So the costs are humongous for a patient. So you need a small thing like, open heart surgery. In India, it would cost around maybe $4,000. But in America, it costs $80,000 to $90,000. And there's too much wastage in that whole system. And that's why when you look at COVID, now when you look at Omicron rising, when you compare Europe and America, Europeans are much more healthier because they get primary healthcare very easily. That's what the latest report from Reuters was talking about today, and other news channels. So what Dr. Adil is trying to do is trying to get something which is like healthcare is important, and he's trying to franchise it out to communities where people can get affordable healthcare, because he's trying to find hack out of the system. Is that correct, Dr. Adil?
Yes, very good. You nailed it right on the head. And the more we have people who believe in the same principle, Muslims and non-Muslims alike, who believe in ethical practice of medicine and ethical business, criteria, and then really save people from all the devastation for the cost and the things that run a bill that really end up with their devastation. If we can do that, and of course give back, like I said, life-sustaining meal. This is through charity and zakat. And sadaqah, because this is a very important issue also. We have 60 million hungry Americans, believe it or not. Yes, it is. And of course, it's around the world, the same thing. So if we can combine with that, and the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, put emphasis on feeding the miskin, on those who cannot help themselves, and need to show that and prove it in action. That's also a great entrepreneurial model, both in business and a social responsibility.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Adil. I think we're doing a fantastic job, and halal healthcare will be life-saving and biggest contribution, I think, in this society, because healthcare is one of the most, non-halal or unethical, whatever we call it. Now, moving forward, let me invite our final speaker of the evening and morning, I think, depending on the country, Dr. Mohammed Said, DDS, founder of Miswak Toothbrush.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you, Tausif. Thank you for having me. But can I share my screen instead of your PowerPoint? I have my own PowerPoint presentation.
Yeah, you can do if you want to.
Okay, but it says it's disabled, so I want you to. Can you enable?
Yeah, I have just stopped it. Yeah, please go on.
As Dr. Adil said, we go long back. I go long back with Dr. Mohammed Said. He's one of my very close friends. He's been a great guy. Whenever my mom needed, dental care, or my dad, he was always affordable when you compare to the costings. So he's been a great guy. And besides being a dentist, he also does a lot of community work with his brother Wajahat in Chicago. They run something called Furqan Foundation, and they have a school. But besides that, Dr. Said has helped me in a very personal capacity, which I can't tell in public. I owe it to him. When my parents were going through healthcare crisis, he was one of the anchor members to support me. And Dr. Adil was in Florida. He used to make calls and tell me duas how to recite to make the heart better. So thank you, Dr. Adil. Jazakallah khair, Dr. Mohammed Said.
Jazakallah khair. Thank you.
Okay, so basically, my name is Mohammed Said. I'm a practicing dentist in Chicago. I've been practicing for over 20 years now. So the basic concept of miswak was when I was doing my research, I came across a journal in Odontology, the Journal of Odontology. There was a very interesting article about how miswak has got antibacterial properties, and it just kind of shocked
Doctor,
me.
your voice is not clear. We're getting
Oh,
a
I'm sorry.
comment.
Better get louder.
Can you put your earphone or a mic?
I don't have a earphone or a mic. Maybe I'll just speak louder?
Yeah, louder.
Okay, so basically, yeah, the whole idea, the concept, the miswak toothbrush came in when I came across this Journal of Odontology, which talked about miswak having antibacterial properties. So this got me thinking and got me into doing some more research. And I found, interestingly, there are a lot of articles out there that show that miswak is better in terms of brushing than a regular toothbrush. So then we have the scientific basis, and then we have the sunnah, as we all know about. And it got me thinking, why aren't we using it? Why aren't we not using this miswak regularly as we should be? And that, in my opinion, it was probably because of the way that miswak is a stick. And in modern times, you don't want to be carrying a stick around. So I came up with an idea to make it more modern in terms of usability. So what happened is I started off, got this idea in 2010, and then I set up the production line. It was pretty much launched in 2012. But I got it.
Voice is still not loud, doctor.
Okay, so
we can hear you, though.
Oh, you can hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Tausif knows about this. He can stay on the sideline. As he said, he was part of my project. He helped me out in the beginning. It was a big help with him when he was back in Chicago. So the concept basically is very simple. I cut the pieces of miswak into small bristles, and I attach it to a handle, and you just open the packet and you just brush. There is no need for cutting and chewing like you do in the regular miswak. You have to cut it. Normally, you have to slice the top of the miswak, crush it, and then you can use it. It's kind of difficult nowadays to do that. So I just thought of this idea in which I do everything. I cut the pieces and flavor them. They're flavored as well. You have different flavors, but you can flavor them, and you just use it without water or paste. You just brush. There's no need for water or paste. This is an interesting video. I think if I can play this, it shows one of my workers. I was given this packet to her for the first time, and she just used it wonderfully without even me having to explain the whole concept. So we kind of took a video of that and put it online.
Wow.
It's very simple. You just open the packet and then you just brush. So this is gone. What is it? How do I?
Nice.
Next video. I have to go to the next slide. Next slide. Okay, there it is. Okay. So then that was the use and throw version of it. Then there's another one that we have one that is with a handle in which we can have it used multiple times rather than just throwing it away. What we do is we have a handle and a cap on top as well to preserve the freshness. So for this you can use it multiple times, and since it's got a cap, it doesn't dry out, and you can use it for about a week, I believe. We tried it about a week. Probably can go more, and then you just take out the tip, throw it away, and get another one. It saves you on, I guess, buying a new one. And that's basically it. So the biggest thing is challenges, as I was talking about, what I faced as a startup with the manufacturing process. The miswak comes there's no standard miswak size. It comes in different sizes. So I had to cut the miswak, design machines that'll be able to cut it to a certain size and fit inside of plastic. That was my biggest problem. I didn't realize it was that big a problem, but every miswak is different in size. And to get it down to a plastic and fit it, it's pretty difficult. Then, of course, the distribution channels. I had a really hard time finding distribution channels. Whenever I go to an exhibition, I had a lot of people. I have an exhibition in many countries. There were a lot of people that were interested in miswak. But once I go to distributors, I had a big challenge finding people who can actually distribute the product. And financing was obviously a problem. Everybody has financing. But the good thing for me was in the initial stage, the seeding money, I was able to raise pretty fast with friends and family. But eventually, it died out. I had to find more. And like Tausif was talking about, I think this is an interesting report here. We have a lot of halal products that we can market to right now. That's basically it. Tausif.
Thank you.
MashaAllah.
MashaAllah. Excellent.
Let me add few points to what Dr. Said said. There's a sunnah which the hadith says, anybody who miswaks throughout his life, he will, when he leaves the world, he will say the kalma, shahadat, and his soul will be, taken away. That's one. And the medical thing is, if you do the miswak, your indigestion problem will be always not there. And miswak is not Muslims; it's across the globe. Different trees have, similar or medicinal value, and it helps a lot. I work with Dr. Said on this project, and as he said, uh, a lot of people welcome it, but then the challenge is like, yes, then they start throwing questions, but they don't look at the innovation. He didn't just make a plastic cap and put the brush in. He actually had to manufacture a machine where he could slice the miswak to a particular slice, and with a very process where he could, flare up the miswak stick and put it onto the, this thing. And when there's another problem, when you go to the masajid, a lot of people use miswak and throw it. That is not the sunnah way. And I learned this thing from Dr. Said. He says the sunnah is to slice it out and use a fresh one. But a lot of people throw the miswak stick in the masjid or in the potting. That's not the. So what he's tried to do, the problem he's tried to solve when we were working, he said, instead of slicing it out, you just use and throw. And it is all biodegradable. Miswak stick, when you throw it, it's biodegradable. And and he flavored it because it makes it fresh, because people are used to the toothpaste, and they just get that mint flavor, as Dr. Said would always say, and they didn't like the miswak thing. When you look at Indian Ayurveda, miswak is highly respected. When you go to other Africa or Middle East, miswak stick is highly, even if you go to Asia. And the other challenge I think he faced was the miswak stick drying it out. When he was sourcing, the challenge was keeping it, fresh. And the whole process, I think, is patented. A lot of hard work of Dr. Said. And not many people actually, I know in this space, has converted the sunnah of the Prophet into actually a product. I've never seen somebody doing that. Even after 10 years of working with, it's been 10 years past, but I've never seen somebody doing it. They come with some, weird stuff, but not this. So I think I would like to thank Dr. Said for giving me this opportunity where we work together, and fantastic product. Anybody interested, they should talk to Dr. Said. And he's not just a doctor; he's become an inventor. Right now, I'll put one point. 1,000 years ago, Muslim, were pioneers in science. Why? They used something called al-fikr. When you go to a scholar, he was not a medical scholar. He was also, he was an educationist. He was a community leader. So he would figure it out and try to solve the problem. Theory of elimination. And when you look, there's a BBC documentary by it's called 1001, and then by Dr. Two Oxford scientists did that. What they did is they challenged the problem and they created products. Not many people do that. And this is what Dr. Adil is trying to do, challenge the whole system. And I see Dr. Said doing that, challenging the system and finding a solution. And that's what a startup is. That's what is innovation. And that's what it creates a new path for.
Absolutely right. Because one of the most secrets of success in business and entrepreneurship is finding a solution of the problem. Find a problem in the society first, and then bring a solution with your innovation. I think that way it's fantastic. So now we open for question answer. So to all the brothers and sisters who are there in Zoom, you can ask in the chat box, or you can also ask live with voice. So anyone who would like to ask any question? Okay, so let us give a little time to our participants who are joined here for question. Let me ask a question to our panel. This will be a little different and out of context. Like some of you must be belonging to Asia and going to America or Western world. like North America. How is it? How is the experience of doing halal business or halal entrepreneurship? How different it is from Asia to North America, and how is it accepted there, and what are the challenges and opportunities?
Excellent questions. Brother, it is totally new market because I am new to the market, but I learned so much that Canada and US market is huge, totally different than Asian market. Because number one, because it's a political stability which is promote us to do much better product and disrupt, like this brother Muhammad Saeed Miswak. It was wonderful innovations, and Dr. Eldin also has his service according to the Sharia. But it's not easy to promote those with the traditional services because we have to become a more disruptor. Like with halal commerce, we are disrupting our traditional marketplace. Like such as I'll name few, like everybody shop in North America, Amazon, Shopify, everything. We went through that, but I found many challenges that not even single entrepreneur between two countries has come forward and said, look, hey, we have to do something better than this because our halal product is reputations is losing through the traditional market. Because when you go through the halal product with those traditional marketplace, you see the other non-halal product is coming through pop-up. So what our young generation, I found with my kids, they are actually not buying only halal product, they're buying the other non-halal product. So this is why I wanted to create, because the brother who created the miswak is wonderful because not many innovator is coming to that disruption. This is why this startup is, I love that startup because the startup is main focus is to disrupt the market. When Uber comes with their ride shares up, every market is disrupted, every lawsuit, everybody. Now it's they're okay because their market is stable now. They're around 16 million, 15 million, whatever you copy revenue they generated, they're stable in the market. Where is our in Muslim community? I don't see any entrepreneur in terms of the brothers who are highly educated in North America. Nobody coming forward with the innovations because we now have a Islamic finance also coming into the market. We have a Canada Manzil company is disrupting the Islamic finance like RESP and mortgage, halal mortgage. Then they're coming, another product is halal. This country, we are leasing the car financing, but they are making it halal. So there is a lot of disruption in this market, and it is not easy as it seems because we are disrupting the traditional market services like healthcare. This brother is doing also, Dr. Aldin has a pronto care, which is, I believe, nobody is doing according to the Sharia and Islamic perspective, how we wanted to redefine the market, right? Because we have a Muslim community. It's not only Muslim community, we have a non-Muslim community who belong to their own religious background. They want something to better, they want something to be holy. Okay, I wanted to consume the halal product because it's not typically for Muslim, because it's also for non-Muslim. They wanted to stay healthy. They want to feel wholesome. They want to consume the right product that is healthy, clean. And I emphasize this. It is halal is not only for Muslim. It's a non-Muslim who want to be staying healthy, who want to consume the good food, because a lot of food manufacturing in North America chemicalized. There have been animals, there are contaminations, a lot of things. But a lot of faith group, if you talk to them, they will say, we don't want this kind of product. We want something better for our health, our family. So this is where is halal commerce inventing the wheels, because we wanted to disrupt the market which is nobody done, because we have I believe 7 to 8 billion Muslim in United Kingdom, right? Nobody has come up with this kind of platform. They go shop, like my relatives in UK, everybody shop into the traditional marketplace. As of today, nobody said, okay, hey, we wanted to mainstream that halal platform because we wanted to not only sell the halal food, because our platform also promote the organic food or certify organic, the fair trade share that has been developed by promote ethical value, right? And we also have vegan. So we combine halal, organic, and vegan. This three product line has been aligned to any kind of consumers. Any kind of consumers can come to our platform and shop this product. Also, we are not only adding value to the consumer, we also developing the business for themselves, the entrepreneur who wanted to become an entrepreneur in these categories. So this is North America is totally different because of the lifestyle here than Asia or Middle Eastern, because we are more technology driven consumers, right? So we do have a lot of technology advancement in Canada and USA. Like brother,
Can I stop
Muhammad,
you? Because other people have to leave. So we can just keep
Yeah.
small comments.
yeah.
I would
So
say, Dr. Said, your experience as a startup in America, small, summary. You need to unmute yourself.
Like I said, the biggest problem really I faced over here was the financing ability to be able to have contacts. I don't have. I mean, a normal person doing a job here. I'm not a big person, so I don't have enough contacts. So we need to have some kind of way in which we can have broaden our. Someone can help us get contacts to get us the venture funding, help us in design, fabrication, manufacturing process, and then the distribution process. People like what you're saying. Your concept of this kind of a meeting is kind of it's a good platform that can help us. That's the basic thing I thought we need here.
There's a question, doctor, for you. How did you overcome these challenges, initial challenges? There's a question by one of the audience.
That's because it's a lot of dedication, a lot of hard work, a lot of time spent. Like I said, the seed funding, the initial funding was pretty easy because it was a unique concept, and I was able to raise from friends and family the initial amount. But later on, as the funds dried up, I had, as you know as well, it was a hard time finding venture capitalists, people to how do we get to the door, right? I have no idea about this. So I kind of self-financed it afterwards most of the time, but it would have really accelerated the whole process if I had proper funding, proper guidance with venture capitalists and other firms.
Dr. Adil, share your views about,
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I'm not, from Asia. I'm from Middle East. Initially, it was from Egypt. I believe that it's a common theme, like Dr. Said and the sister have explained. You do need an ecosystem. You do need a collaboration with people who believe the common value and the enthusiasm and the belief in the product. Of course, you go through all the, scraping the bottom of the barrel for every penny to make it make work. But after a while, until you have gas in the car, you can't go too far. So I believe everybody can prosper in an ecosystem. For the Muslim world, 1.8 billion with all the resources and so on. I'm sure there's a lot of good people out there that hopefully will look into this and see the benefits, not just in dunya and akhirah, but they see also the huge impact on the society and the fact that you can really show a model that you could be proud of, and then everybody could benefit, Muslim, non-Muslim, all mankind. And this is the beauty about everything that's being presented. Everybody needs dental care. Everybody needs products that will serve them. Everybody needs health. So I hope this will jumpstart a new era of really excitement and education and networking, so that we can hopefully make the dream true, then streamline all the halal and ethical ecosystem around the globe.
There's a question for the somebody that how can you establish a business and be successful. I would like to add something about North America, especially United States. When you go to America, you become part of the American system, and America thrives on entrepreneurship. So there's no excuse that you can't do it in America. And there's a fantastic hadith from Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam time There was an Ashabi called Abdurrahman of Razinath. When he came back from East Africa to the second Hijrat, when he went to Medina Sharif, he was partnered with an Ansar. And the Ansar said, take half of everything of mine. He says, sorry, show me the marketplace. Right? And he went to the market. Couple of months or years, Hazrat Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and Hazrat Aisha Razinath were in their house, and they see a lot of noise, hear a lot of noise after Isha. So Rasulullah asked, can you check on it? So she goes, looks at it, and somewhere in the riwayat or hadith, it says 720 camels, somewhere it says 7,200, somewhere it says 72,000. So we take the least denominator, 720. The 720 camels were loaded with trade, which was going to Syria. Then Hazrat Aisha comes back and talks to Rasulullah and says, that's his caravan. And he smiles and she goes back outside. And he sees the reflected smile of Rasulullah on Hazrat Aisha's face. And he says, did he smile? He said, yeah. And he donates everything to everyone. Now, the crux of the story, if you're an entrepreneur, you go to the marketplace. There's no ifs, there's no but, right? And when I'm doing public speaking, I say two things. Everyone's phone has two applications. One is WhatsApp and one is Google. 99% of people are wasting time on WhatsApp, good morning, good night, whatever. But the smartest people I see is Google searching, and they build the whole business on the internet. So the question was from the audience is, how do I take a business? Everything is there on the internet. Go and research, time and test. Look at Dr. Said. He went and researched to find machine. Look at sister. She found out that North American Free Trade Agreement, how it affected her business. So how she's changing the model. She was talking to a lot of people. She took advice and she changed. And look at Dr. Adil, when he encountered a lot of patients coming to his clinic because they had no affordable health care and the system was not addressing, he started doing something there. Because all of these three people went to the market. They followed that hadith. And for my personal example, when I moved to America and after working with Dr. Said, I launched the Muslim Spelling Bee competition. I just took a spelling bee idea, put it into a new format and moved, and alhamdulillah, it became America's second largest competition. And we ran it with a donation. It became sustainable. So I hope that question answers. Any other questions before we take final comments from the guest speakers? All the guests, I would request, please share your contact details onto the chat if somebody wants to, connect with you for distribution, marketing, or franchising. Last call for everyone. Any questions? I would say the challenges everyone facing, that's why we launched the Halal Angels Network, because funding is the biggest challenge. And right investors don't get the right businesses to invest. And good businesses don't get. That's why we created the Halal Angels Network, where people can come connect. And this webinar was actually for awareness, what people face challenges and how the success stories can, help people out. Concluding remarks, I would start with Dr. Adil. Then I would go to Dr. Said and close with sister. Dr. Adil?
I thank you so much. Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the beautiful program and the opportunity to present. I believe okay, we already have the word out. The message has been out. I think we're already hunted down to see how you can upscale any business. Yeah, you named it, and the funding and so on. But you have to believe in all the effort and struggle that each and every one of the presenters have done. 12 years, going through, really changed the entire healthcare system in Florida and across the nation. And of course, everybody copies America, so everybody now can see the model that took so many years and tears, sweat, and blood, and they can benefit from that by replicating it across the globe and can address the healthcare, hunger, and also bringing the heart back in medicine, because it's about rahmah, it's about mercy, it's about the humanity And this is part of my other hat that I'm wearing as a global goodwill ambassador, but really putting it all in action and reach out to so many people in need, especially with the pandemic and especially with all the financial hardships that people go through and still need healthcare.
Dr. Said, closing remark.
Oh, thank you very much for having me. It was wonderful, and I hope you keep up the good work, Tausif. This is an interesting platform. I think it's near the time. I think we need something like this to help people, especially like me, who have a 9-to-5 job, who know nothing about running a business, but have an idea that needs to be implemented. Thank you all.
Sister, concluding remark.
Okay. Yeah, thank you so much, everyone. It was very nice presentation, and I would like to conclude two brothers, Dr. Tausif Malik, Mohammed Sayed, and Dr. Aldin. We have biggest problem with the funding in Islamic business, because this is why I was 2007 to 2010, I was in traditional business financing services as a consultant. I found that every small business is failed because of the funding. We have the great idea. I have the great idea. You have the great idea. This brother Miswak, he's facing financial. Everybody bottom problem is the financing. We do not have a stakeholder. We have innovator, but we don't have a stakeholder, an investor, or a venture capitalist to help us go through the next stage. I have 3 projects. Brother Mohammed Said has a project. Dr. Aldin has a project. We all have a different stage of the business, but problem we are facing is financing, because we do not have a proper marketplace to have a finance. Dr. Tausif Malik has an excellent idea, because we need a Halal Angel Network platform to get our potential investor for our project. We need very, very good funding from this platform. So I hope we all can work together and bring our project to the life. And we need all those who are audiences listening to our presentations and my presentations. I welcome them. Any question they might have, they can reach me at sayadun@halalcommerce.ca. Thank you so much, and may Allah bless you all.
Concluding remarks for me. Thank you, everyone. I just explain the startup ecosystem funding. In startup ecosystem funding, there's something initial funding. The seed capital comes from angels. It can be friends and family, as Dr. Said talked about. It can be your, colleagues, and there is also something called angel networks. Once you pass by angel networks, you go to the VC. So why it's called angel? Because angels actually help you. And why we started Halal Angels Network? Since 10 years being in the halal consumer market and actually doing a doctorate degree, PhD degree in the American Muslim consumer market, I found out there's few challenges we have been facing, and that is funding. Now, funding, how can you address? Now, venture capital, as somebody in the audience was saying, venture capital. Venture capital, if you're registered in the US, you have to only invest in the US. So there's an interesting startup in India, and a US VC fund has to invest. It takes 1 year to come. So that's why we decided to do an Angels Network. The other thing is, I wanted to start a venture capital. Very interesting story. And I went to my mom, because she comes from a business background. I asked her, I want to do this thing. I want to raise capital. I'm actually forming a company with people. She says, I forbid you from starting a venture capital company. I said, why? She says, you're taking somebody else's money, putting into pool, and then giving it to somebody. If you make one mistake on Yawm al-Qiyamah, for $1, you'll be accountable for throughout your eternity. And that's why I decided I want to stay away. And the other thing she says, if you're raising 10 million, 5 million, 20 million, whatever million, the minute money comes big into you, you might become a junoon. I don't want to lose my son. So we decided to stay away from the venture capital. Angels Network is connecting the angels with the startups. That is the format. And Angels Network don't require legal this thing, because it's just matchmaking. It's up to the individual investors versus the startups. Whereas a venture capital, you have a lot of compliance with the government every month. So the cost of maintaining that VC becomes difficult. And as one of the audience said, venture capital, we are very focused right now on the Angels platform. We are in the webinar series for till 11 weeks. Post that, we are going to do something very unique with the women entrepreneurs for the Khatija initiative, how women entrepreneurs should come. And there's a lot of misunderstanding that Muslim women are not entrepreneurs, but our first mother, Bibi Khatija Razinath, was an entrepreneur. So we look at her and inspire her. So I thank everyone. And I would like to make a request to everyone. My mom's not keeping good health. I would want her, if you can make a dua for her, because if I'm here is because of my mom and my dad. And if I'm trying to do some good work is because they constantly guide me and she tells me this is wrong, this is right. So thank you so much, everyone. Jazakallah khair for making dua for my mom, and hope to see you next Saturday. And check out halalangels.net/event for the next one. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you.